You know, I've said this to a few people, but not drinking is peculiar because I've never been psychoanalyzed. But I have the feeling that if you stop drinking after drinking for 30 years, as I have, it's the next thing to being psychoanalyzed because my idea of myself keeps changing every day. And I'm relocating my personality. It's as if I'm remaking my personality so that I'm much more adaptable in certain ways and I'm more resigned in other ways. Precisely what happens in psychoanalysis.
But you've been remaking your personality for years, and
yeah, but at least I was in touch with the old identity. You know, it was as if it were a roadmap in my mind. And now I feel as if a helicopter picked me up and has deposited me in a new place. And now, every day when I travel, all I'm doing is leaving this new point of departure and going back to it. And then the next day I travel in another direction. So it's as if, instead of traveling, I'm now reconnoitering. If we're going to use a metaphor for the feeling of how I feel about the shift in identity. It's a most peculiar sensation.
is there a chance, though, when you're not drinking and you're writing, that you're gonna be on a plateau?
Well, if it's boring, if it is a plateau, you know, the inner state in writing is usually best off when your inner state is the opposite of what you're writing about. In other words, if you're writing about events of great violence and soul suffering, you don't have to do it the way Dostoevsky did. You're better off almost if you're writing in great calm. At least I've found that. And that you get psyched up to a certain intensity while you're writing, but the intensity is for... it comes out of the nature of working when you're writing. Writing's always intense because you're living in the panic that you're going to forget the next thought. That's intense enough.
So it's a certain kind of calm, because you've also said that when you're depressed, you do a lot of good writing.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to work in a mild depression and lift out of it just long enough to get the writing done, and then sink back into that depression. I find that if I have to write for a month or two in a long stretch of a novel, that I get more done that way than the other way.
Well, you've written when you've had hangovers, no doubt.
No, I can't if the hangover was too bad.
You can't.
And I never wrote on booze.
No.
It was just that I knew that when I finished writing, I'd have the reward. You see, the reason I may not be able to do serious writing without drink is that there'd be no reward at the end of the day. And that's the trickiest part of not drinking. It's fascinating.